What's up, everyone? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Album Rewind, the show we're doing here in the month of June each and every morning, taking a look at some classic albums by some classic bands that might be perhaps overshadowed just a little bit by the even bigger classic that came right before it. It's a little bit more popular, older sibling. Today we're going to take a look at an album released in 1978, April 9th, as a matter of fact, via the Polydor label, produced by Martin Birch and recorded at the Strawberry Studio, Chateau de Huerville in France. I'm talking about Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll. You know the band, right? Different lineup here. This, of course, follows the even bigger behemoth that was Rainbow Rising, which many people consider the magnum opus of this band, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. I would probably agree with that. However, I don't think this follows too far behind. In fact, I think it's might be, top to bottom, might be a little stronger. However, I think Rainbow Rising has the more iconic songs, and that's the reason I think why most of us generally tip the scales to Rising. But they're both pretty damn impressive. So here, of course, we've got Ritchie Blackmore on all sorts of guitars. Plays a little bass on the album as well. You've got Ronnie James Dio, lead vocals. This is his last album with the band. Cozy fucking Powell, Butch Jones, that's for you. On drums and percussion, you've got Bob Daisley, who plays bass on a few tracks on the album. He would join the band, replacing, of course, Mr. and I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. Why am I doing that? Of course, Jimmy Bain. Come on, Pete. It's early, I know. Replacing Tony Carey on keyboards for this album is David Stone. Although it depends on who you talk to and where you look. Apparently, Tony had played some keyboards on some of these songs early on before he was jettisoned from the band. So you've got David Stone on keyboards for the remainder of the album and the tour. That was the touring band. You had Dio, Blackmore, Powell, Daisley, and Stone. You've also got on this particular album, you've got the Bavarian String Ensemble, conducted by Rainer Peach on the Gates of Babylon. And then you've got on Rainbow Eyes, you've got Ferenc Kiss and Nico Nikolic on violins, Otmar Makan on viola, Karl-Heinz Veit on cello, and Rudy Risavi on flute. All right, so that's the lineup. How about the songs, you might be asking? Well, you know, it kicks off with the barnstorming title track, Long Live Rock and Roll. Just good, raging, melodic hard rocker. It's anthemic, of course. Great way to start off the album. Very cool title track, one of my favorite title tracks. Just a really good headbanger of a track, right? And then you've got the kind of little more atmospheric, little darker tone, little more mid-pace Lady of the Lake. Again, great chorus, great vocal from Mr. Dio there. Good riffs, band's just kind of firing on all cylinders. Then you've got probably the only song on the album that I don't like, and it's one of my least favorite Rainbow songs, LA Connection. Not really interested in hearing this band do sort of a kind of like LA-style boogie, right? I don't know. I mean, you know, it's okay. I tend to skip that song. I always have. I'm not a big fan of it. Just kind of, it's one of those songs that just really doesn't fit, right, on this particular album. From there, we have one of the greatest compositions this era of the band ever produced, The Gates of Babylon. You know, if it wasn't for Stargazer or for the Rising album, I think most of us would be considering Gates of Babylon one of their best epic-sounding, epic length, although it's not that long. It's not quite 7 minutes. One of their greatest epic compositions. I mean, Gates of Babylon is just absolutely incredible. That snaking Middle Eastern guitar motif from Blackmore. You've got the orchestral swells, right? And you've got one of the most amazing vocal performances from Ronnie James Dio, as well as some thunderous drumming from Cozy, who's all over this album. I mean, Cozy Powell just, it's almost like he was meant to play with this era of Rainbow, right? I mean, he's just so perfect in this band. From there, that's the end of side 1 of the vinyl, or side A of the vinyl. Side 2, second half of the disc, the early power / prog metal classic Kill the King, which of course surfaced first on the Rainbow on Stage album. Tremendous song. tremendous song. If you listen carefully to Kill the King, you can hear how so many, especially European power metal and prog metal bands, kind of took a formation of their sound. I mean, you've got the manic drumming, right? The raging guitar riffs, those potent vocals, and then the kind of the cool guitar solo and keyboard solo trade-offs, with just the incredible rhythms going on. It's literally the framework for so many other bands that have kind of come in their wake. I mean, Rainbow, for me, doesn't get enough credit for being one of the bands that helped kind of create progressive rock, progressive metal, and power metal. I mean, there's so many elements to their music, especially on those first handful of albums, that we would see a decade later on. From there, track number 6, one of my favorite songs on the album, one of the most underrated songs on this album, The Shed, with a little subtle in parentheses after it. Love that unaccompanied guitar solo from Blackmore in the beginning. Lasts about a minute, then it leads into those big heavy riffs, dum 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 bum bum dum bum 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 bum. Cozy and Richie just hammering away, forceful vocals from Dio. Love it, so heavy, so great. And next up, another killer Blackmore riff. A little Sensitive to Light, man. Fast-paced, raging hard rocker. Love it. Sensitive Light, just such another underrated song from this album. And then, of course, kind of like the sequel or the younger sibling to Catch the Rainbow from the first Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow album, you've got Rainbow Eyes. Lovely track. Great kind of haunting, poignant vocal performance from Ronnie. Okay, you've got all the strings, you got the lovely flute. It's as much a lush, folky piece as it is like a mystical prog rock track. Hard to classify. Really different sounding song on this album, kind of like Catch the Rainbow was on that first album, and just a really kind of lovely, lush, pastoral track to end this pretty heavy-hitting album, right? So there you have it. Those are the tracks. Those are some of the things about this wonderful album. Of course, you got that kind of iconic cover art right there. All right. Great stuff. Great stuff. A fantastic 1-2 punch, if you ask me. Throw the first album in there. I mean, that's 3 of the strongest albums to lead off a band's catalog, right? It doesn't get much better than that. Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, Rainbow Rising, and Long Live Rock and Roll. But today it's all about the genius of this album. It is our classic album rewind. If you've never heard Long Live Rock and Roll, well, you know what? Now's the best time to do so. If you haven't listened to it in a while, hit the old rewind button, put it on and check it out, and enjoy the glory that is Long Live Rock and Roll and Rainbow, the Ronnie James Dio, Cozy Powell era. Amazing stuff. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the YouTube all the damn time. So stay tuned tonight. Hudson Valley Squares, Monday Night Must-See TV. The topic for today, we are each picking our 3 favorite well-traveled musicians / vocalists. So those guys that kind of played with and recorded with everybody, and we love them no matter who they played with, whether it was the multiple bands they were members of or all the guest stars, the appearances that they made. Those folks who played with everybody, and we're going to pick our favorite albums, favorite appearances from each one of them. So that's coming up tonight on Hudson Valley Squares. We've got the full crew with us tonight, so stay tuned for that. We've got tomorrow in the prog seat, we've got Team A and myself picking out our favorite prog fusion and prog metal keyboard players, right? So we're picking from all those 3 kind of genres there. That's what we do on In the Prog Seat. So our top 5 keyboard players, so that's happening tomorrow. Also, want to let you guys know, I will be appearing with Martin Popoff on Guitar Hack tomorrow night as well, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Guitar Hack YouTube channel, where we will be talking about our 5 favorite Thin Lizzy albums. That's coming up tomorrow, along with In the Prog Seat. Wednesday is What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility Day. We've got the brand new Black Sabbath Sabotage box set, new Dennis DeYoung, new Flotsam and Jetsam, new Can archival live release. What else we got here? Man, we got so much stuff. New Big Train. I hope to get all of it. We got new Nad Sylvan. I mean, I get to all of them Wednesday, but I'm up early in the morning recording all that stuff. I may do some of them Tuesday night. So we'll get to as many as we can this week. If not, whatever we don't get to will be next week. And then Thursday, Monsters Den, Dan Brown, and Jamie Laszlo and myself will be giving you ranking our 10 favorite Alfred Hitchcock thrillers. Okay. Lynn Versace is also coming on the show on Thursday. Lynn is back. Lynn and I are going to be ranking the Steve Morse Band studio albums, as well as doing top 10 songs of ABBA, or ABBA. All right, we figured that'd be kind of like a fun little thing because Lynn and I both like ABBA. So that's Thursday. And then Friday, Martin Popoff back in the fun house. Martin and I will be coming up with another fun show for you. Long, epic compositions that suck. We've done plenty of shows on the channel where we've talked about our favorite, long-form composition tracks. Well, Martin and I are going to be talking about those long songs that we just don't really care for much. So that's coming up on Friday, and then we'll see what the weekend brings. We've got also hoping to get, I don't know what day it's going to be appearing, but ranking the albums of Elements coming up this weekend. Got a lot of ranking the album shows that I'm going to be doing in subsequent weeks. Also, Stephen Reed and I are going to be getting together. Stephen's going to rank the catalog of Thunder for you, so I'm hoping to get that in this week as well. We've got Steve and myself and Simon Bray are going to have my 2 UK connection folks coming on. We're going to rank the albums of Survivor sometime over the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that as well. So much stuff happening, guys. So much. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so you get notified of all of our videos. You don't want to miss anything. If you want to make a channel donation, the link to the Ko-Fi page is below, as well as the link to our merch page. We can get all sorts of cool SOT-related merchandise. We got a lot of new stuff there, so if you haven't gone to that website in a while, go check it out, see what we got. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you tonight with the Hudson Valley Squares. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good one. Bye-bye.